Hello everyone, Moobies here, and in this video we'll be discussing both the normal and hard modes of XT-002 Deconstructor. This Iron Giant is the final boss in the first wing of Ulduar. It is our second boss that has a hard mode, and I'm so excited to talk about this fight. Let's get into it. We'll start with normal mode first and go over the main boss abilities. XT-002 Deconstructor is a two-phase repeating fight with 3 main abilities and spawns 4 different types of adds. The first ability is Searing Light. This targets a random raid member and starts pulsing every second for 9 seconds, dealing damage to anyone within 10 yards. Next is Gravity Bomb. This puts a debuff on a random raid member and after 9 seconds damages for 15k damage and pulls players within 12 yards towards them and inflicts 12,000 shadow damage. Finally, XT uses Tympanic Tantrum. This is a raid-wide AoE that hits for 10% of max HP for each player in the raid for 8 seconds. Now, let's talk about the adds. The first add is the Heart of the Deconstructor. Every 25% of his HP, XT will rest for just a moment and open up his heart. This is a new mob that must be targeted and DPS'd. Killing the heart in one phase is how you activate hard mode, but we'll go over that in a minute. While the heart is active, he will spawn 3 other types of adds from the scrap heaps around the room. Pummeler Robots. These attack with a cleave and must be tanked. Scrap Bots. These run slowly to XT, and if they reach him, restore 1% of his HP. And Boom Bots. These explode on death, inflicting damage to nearby players and NPCs. The strategy for this boss is pretty straightforward. You definitely want to have a balanced raid composition, but you likely only need 1 tank. So, tank the boss over to one side of the room, left or right, doesn't really matter which. Doing this prevents the scrap heaps nearby him from spawning adds, allowing you to easily kill them off as they'll come from across the entire room. Have 2 stack points for your group, melee and ranged. The range group should be at least 15 yards behind the melee group. Assign which bomb is going to go to which side. We use Searing Light to the right and Gravity Bomb to the left. Ensure the target gets out quickly and doesn't catch anyone with the explosions. Every 60 seconds, XT will cast Tympanic Tantrum. Be ready for this and have a raid cooldown ready for each one. At 75%, 50%, and 25%, XT will start a heart phase where he will expose his heart for you to do damage and spawn adds from the scrap heaps. Since we're tanking him on one side of the room, you have plenty of time to DPS the heart before any range need to turn around and kill boombots. Assign a hunter to have misdirect ready to get any pummelers to the tank. Any damage done to the heart is also done to XT, so if you're fast, you can keep him in the heart phase for most of the fight. Exhaust his HP and you've moved on to the antechamber of Ulduar. Now, let's talk about hard mode. Hard mode is activated when the heart is destroyed in one single phase. If you are able to do this, XT will no longer have any heart phases, he will gain full HP, increased HP and damage, and gain enhancements to his existing abilities. The Gravity Bomb on the left will now spawn a void zone when it explodes. And Searing Light, the one on the right, is now called Light Bomb, and will spawn an add called a Life Spark, which does nature damage to the raid every 3 seconds. The pull for this version of the fight is no different. DPS him down as normal until the boss is at 75% HP. The goal for the heart is to destroy the heart without using Bloodlust. This will allow you to use Bloodlust when the boss is at 100% and hard mode truly begins. If you are working on progression, you can lust on the heart to see where you stand without it, but I don't recommend this until you have some gear. If you are unable to kill the heart without lust, you likely don't have the DPS to kill the boss due to the tight enrage timer. Once hard mode is activated, all of his abilities and damage ramp up. He will no longer spawn adds, so the first order of business is to kill any remaining scrap bots and boom bots left on the field. Let the pummelers get cleaved down, as you'll need all the boss DPS you can get. Keep the same stacks you had for normal mode and the same sides for light and gravity. Light goes right, hey rhymes, and gravity goes to the left. However, now the add on the right must be swapped to and killed immediately by ranged, and on the left, raiders will need to go a little bit further and stop DPS if you're melee to drop the void zone. Raid walls and tank cooldowns during Tympanic Tantrum are no longer optional on hard mode. These will kill your raid if you are not prepared for them. The fight itself is pretty straightforward, but the biggest challenge with this fight is beating the enrage. XT has a 6-minute enrage timer, and you need to burn through 25% of his HP, his heart, and then his full 100% increased HP bar in this time. Min-maxing will be required for lower geared pulls. For us, until this is nerfed, Week 1 XT hard mode kills are going to be few and far between. Good luck, and thanks for watching. See you next time.